Night 1 of WrestleMania is a pretty stacked card. I ran through my predictions for those, and I will admit I was indecisive and said the word possibility a lot. Night 2 is a bit of a lighter load, but we have some possible title changes incoming. So let's get into my predictions for WrestleMania XL Night 2. For the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, we have Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. The thing about this main event is that the outcome totally could rely on what happened the night before. Who will have the advantage, you know? If we get bloodline rules, we will have our usual bloodline interference because, of course, Roman can't win anything on his own. There are so many questions. Will Seth Rollins have turned on Cody the night before or at all? Will he have won his match? Will he blame Cody if he doesn't? Do we get interference from someone else related to the bloodline? Old rivals of The Rock? I know you've seen all the speculation about John Cena, Stone Cold, and hell, I've even seen Hogan thrown into the mix. I get called a Cody crybaby, which I think is hilarious, but my gut instinct tells me Roman Reigns is walking away retaining his title. I don't know how, and like I discussed heavily in my video for Night 1, there are so many possibilities. I know everyone thinks it's Cody's time and that there's no way they'd let him lose 2 years in a row, but hello, they could, and they would. The World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Okay, I know I vocally called Drew whiny and made fun of him every time he comes on screen about being long-winded, but you know I'm just playing the part, okay? Drew has been cooking, doing some of the best work of his career. The banter between not only him and Seth, but the weaving of disdain he's had for CM Punk has been chef's kiss incredible. I think Seth Rollins has had one hell of a run as the World Heavyweight Champion, but I think Drew wins this. With Clash at the Castle in Glasgow having just been announced, I think he might be walking into it as champion. If Cody and Seth did in fact lose in Night 1, it could fuel the fire of a narrative for Seth, that Seth was fighting Cody's battle for him and it made him lose his own battle. The WWE Women's Championship, Io Sky versus Bayley. I personally don't feel like they did right by Io Sky. Her title reign never felt super dominant or important, and much of the time she kind of felt like a background character, which is so disappointing because her matches are phenomenal. Something just didn't click for me. It very much felt like Liv Morgan's reign after her Money in the Bank cash-in victory. The crowd popped for it, and then the story just kind of fell flat. Which is interesting considering how complex the Damage Control story as a whole has been. Her feud with Bayley in the build-up to this match has felt the most convincing. Aside from that, the entire redemption of Bayley due to Damage Control turning on her is something I've thoroughly been invested in. The crowd is behind Bayley. I want that WrestleMania moment for her, and I think it's a great time to make it happen. The United States Championship, Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Love him or hate him, Logan Paul is a great WWE superstar. Everything he has been involved in has been fun and entertaining, and his presence always feels important. I personally can't wait to see someone with the skill of Logan in the ring at the same time as two very skilled veterans in KO and Randy. And not only skilled veterans, but entertaining ones. KO and Randy have great ring awareness, charisma, and comedic timing. Having all three of them is truly a dream match. I do believe Logan will retain after a banger of a match. SummerSlam is in Cleveland, Ohio, and with Logan being an Ohio native, I think he may be holding on to it until then, which is something I am surprisingly okay with. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. I promise I'll stop calling AJ Styles Emo Steve Blackman after this match. This is shaping up to just be a solid match between two great talents. I mean, hell, it's AJ Styles and LA Knight. I think LA Knight finally gets his moment. He was riding on so much momentum and was so over during the summertime last year. I'm hoping a victory over AJ will catapult him into a feud for a title, maybe the US title, against Logan Paul at SummerSlam, but We'll see. To be seen. Okay, the Philadelphia street fight. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain. I don't know what to expect from a Philadelphia street fight. Is it just the usual shtick where we get a couple kendo sticks and chairs from under the ring, the crowd calls for tables, and that's the end of it? Or do we maybe see some cool interaction from some celebrities in the crowd, like maybe a little Jason Kelsey action? I don't know. I could see it happening to liven the crowd up and get them invested in this match. With everything Karrion and AOP has been through, I'm leaning towards them getting the victory in this match. Hopefully to keep catapulting them higher and getting them involved in the tag title picture, but also to breathe some life into the Street Profits. And by breathe life into the Street Profits, I mean maybe possibly steering them in the direction to feud and split. I think Montez Ford more than deserves a singles run, a singles championship run, and hell, the idea of him even feuding with Bobby Lashley, we could be in for one hell of a summer. Now, there is still the lingering issue of Damian Priest carrying the Money in the Bank briefcase. Senior Money in the Bank has plenty of options to cash in at WrestleMania, and he's quickly running out of time. But will it happen? He hasn't really even mentioned the contract in quite some time. After everything we've discussed with match outcomes and the titles up for grabs, I don't see any of his possible cash-ins being successful. The Universal and World Heavyweight titles feel like feuds he is so detached from, and he really hasn't even hinted at going after them or the Intercontinental title. His cash-in could definitely throw off my entire prediction list, as he wasn't even mentioned, but again, it weaves right into the conversation about this WrestleMania being unpredictable with the endless possibilities at hand. I said possibilities again. I can't wait to watch this WrestleMania live with you guys on Twitch and right here on YouTube this weekend. Bring the snacks and keep your tallies. I have a feeling we are in for a wild couple of nights.